Good evening, everyone. I hope you're doing very well. I'm here to give you a quick stream on the X-Plane 12 demo. I downloaded it the other day on the recommendation from another YouTuber, actually, and I was told that it was very good. The graphics were very good, the FPS was good, and the base planes were pretty decent. You only get 15, but they were enough, in my eyes, to warrant giving the trial a try. So that's what I'm here to do. We're on X-Plane 12, that's the recent game, came out in 2022. I'm glad to see you here as well. It's very nice to be here on a Tuesday evening to show this, but first I want to go through something a little bit different. We're going to watch a video of a plane crash and then we're going to go into the game. So we switch to the news plane crash, which was recently on TV. I hope this works. I hope this can be shown on my computer. I click the video. Let's see if this works. And we will shortly get into the actual gameplay, but I really want to watch this thing. So click across. That should give you. Yeah, that won't work. I think we'll have to stick with just doing the game, so we might as well get straight into it. Downloaded it, it only took up a very small amount of space on the hard drive. You do only get 15 minutes maximum in flight, but you can do that 15 minutes as many times as you want to, so if you go onto the game, you use up the 15 minutes, it's not the end, you can just go back on and use it up again. So that's what we're going to do now. Click on explain. New flight, and we've got a few decent choices here for a demo. I think this is all the aircraft included with the base game, so you're not limited to one or two aircraft, which I've noticed on a few other demos, so you're getting a good selection there of general aviation, but not particularly aircraft I would have chosen myself. Airliners, we've only got 3, which is disappointing. We've got the Airbus A330, the 737, Boeing, and McDonnell Douglas MD-82. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a smaller aircraft like the Beechcraft Baron. That's a good one. And then we'll move on to something faster. The Cessna Citation, I think, is a good choice, and we can do an airliner. We can probably try out the 737. That seems to be a popular one. In general, though, they're the only aircraft I would fly on the base game, so I'd probably be needing to buy and download extra content if I wanted more. Experimental aircraft doesn't appeal to me. We've got a glider, 3 helicopters, some military planes. We've got an F-14 Tomcat. Again, not the best choices to have a base game. I can think of several other aircraft that are better than, well, all of these, to be honest. Yeah, so we've got a customizable weather system and time of day. We're going to put it on real life tracking real world time, and weather we can do customized. So it gives you quite a lot of options just for the demo. It's all of it, as far as I'm aware. Dry runway, we will try various weather conditions as well in the 15 minutes on the Beechcraft Baron. So we'll start off with dry, then we'll move up to wet maximum, snow maximum, and then ice maximum, or we can just do snow and ice max. That might be a bit easier. Wind direction, we'll leave it on its own. We'll try the settings as well. Let's check everything's good. So I've got the graphics turned up to max. Rendering distance isn't max because I'm not going to be flying that far. I'm limited to Portland area for the demo, so you need to buy the full game in order to go to different areas, which is absolutely fine. Okay, click on start flight. From what I've seen on other games and other streamers, it's very fast and it's very good, so it's not going to cause you problems if you've got a high-end computer or even a good graphics card. I think if you probably struggle if you're trying to run this on inappropriate software, though, especially given how much memory it's going to take up on your RAM. spawned in at I am a little bit familiar with the controls already. I've already been on to program my Xbox controller and to get familiar with a few of the views I'll be using. I only need the mouse to look around for now. As you can see, we've spawned into the Beechcraft Baron on a jetway. The lighting's fantastic. You see it reflecting the shadow of the light. There is a bit of blurriness here. I'm not sure how to change that. I mean, that looks fantastic. That looks like everything you would want from a flight sim. Okay, let's just change the sound. Make sure you can hear me. We'll turn that down. Hopefully that's a bit better. But yeah, first impressions as soon as I've loaded it up are pretty good. I mean, this is just as good, if not better, than Microsoft Flight Simulator, which I know is going to cause a bit of division, but oh well. Instruments look good, very clear. Buttons, interactable, I'm assuming. I have had some issues pushing some of these buttons. I don't know if they're working, like the heater. It doesn't seem to be working on this aircraft. We're going to do that, and we're going to have a quick look around just to make sure the game looks solid. So, cockpit wise though, it looks alright. I'm only getting about 45 frames a second because I'm at a busy airport. And outside, again, the lights, the shadows and the shading, you can even see the aircraft's own shadow on its wing. That's so incredible. This is, you zoom in, again, no shadows, and all that anti-aliasing, I believe it is. Pilot in the cockpit looks detailed. Zoom in a bit more and it seems to do that. Goes to a glitchy water part, or maybe it's just a shadow. You can see the control tower. I don't know what I've done. I seem to have stuck it in that place. We'll do this, we'll go on pushback flight. I'm not sure how to do this. I think it's Control G, is it? Or Shift and G. So this is a request ground service, yes. I was going to say this is like a standard, like basically the best aircraft you could start with as a beginner. Gives you everything you can need. It's got an autopilot, GPS, has got the old analog instruments as well. This isn't included in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it's included in X-Plane 12. Which is strange really, because the Microsoft Flight Simulator X used to have the Beechcraft Baron, and that was completely free. It wasn't an add-on. Yes, it has got the old analog instruments. I just hope that it flies as easily as I flew it the last time, which was many years ago. So I'm going to restart the flight just to save us some time and go straight to the runway instead. We're going to be at Portland, that's our only place we can be. Click that. Portland International, click this. I believe you double click the runway and it will spawn us in there. Start new flight. Now, I am timing this, so when we spawn in, from this point onwards we have 15 minutes. That doesn't include menu time. And it doesn't include, as far as I'm aware, it doesn't include the pausing either. Yeah, just look at that, that's 10 times. To be honest, this game has blown me away because it's 10 times better than what I expected, visually and physically. Like, the physics on the game, the aircraft is incredibly real. You can be in the cockpit, like so, and then crank the window. I mean, look at that for detail. You can't beat that, and you can even hear the increased sound. See, flight simulators didn't used to have this sort of thing. They didn't even used to be able. You didn't even used to be able to interact with the buttons. I mean, granted, there's some here we can't interact with, but it used to be far worse. Anyway, we're pretty much ready to take off. We're not going to add any flaps. This is a long runway. We are going to keep our view inside the cockpit and just have a look around the Portland area for the next 15 minutes in the Beechcraft Baron. Maybe we'll switch to the Airbus or Boeing. So V for brakes. Slight learning curve on the controls, but if you've got your controller programmed, there should be no issues at all. Full speed. wondering what I've got the configuration to on my controller, I'm using an Xbox controller, and it's coming out with a Y, so you press Y for the gear, and I find that to be the easiest option, unless you've got yourself a expensive Thrustmaster set, for example. Handleability, very good. Responded to my movements. If it's going to respond to a crash or something, or an engine failure. Will it set on fire? Will it have real crash physics? Because that's one thing I've not experimented with yet, is the physics of the crashing. That's also something that's evolved over the years. They used to never have crash physics on flight simulators at all. You might have a broken wing and a bit of smoke, but that was about it. They never used to make the airframe crumble up, or even the propellers like bend and whatnot, so it'd be interesting to see that. But just looking around at Portland, it looks fantastic. Look at all the detail, look at all these houses. You can even zoom into it. All those people down there, I think, oh, there's no people, there's just cars, but all those people down there must be well happy they're on the game. Go back to the external view. I'm just going to reduce the sound. And try and bring that, there it is, the exterior sound just slightly down so you can hear me. Hopefully that's a little bit better. So this is apparently one of the best simulators in the market, X-Plane 12. This is supposed to be professional, study level, quality aircraft. Not saying the Beechcraft Baron is, but the game includes that kind of aircraft. You can download them. Another 777-200 extension ranges on here as a detailed aircraft. Study level is, I believe, for real world pilots, so they can practice. So yeah, we're really getting a real McCoy. Looking at the shading again, the lighting. City's looking really rendered, not too far. We might have to change the render. Sort of ascending to prepare ourselves to come back down for a landing. We have got an option here of going back here to the small airport bit. Oh, excuse me, behind. So I think we're going to do that. We're going to turn. Now we're going to go entirely cockpit for the landing. And we're going to witness the Baron physically and visually. So we're going to reduce our propellers, manifold pressure to 15, one notch of flaps. We have got to take this seriously. This is more realistic than most. Do our steep 45-degree bank onto final. Keeping that nose pitched up to prevent a stall. Or dive, sorry, and a spin. We can probably just go ahead and idle it. We'll idle engines, and what we're going to do is propellers are going to come right back to feather. Oops, a little bit too much on that one. So we got our left engine stopped spinning, that's pretty good, so we reduce the manifold pressure to 0 and it stopped. That's realistic. And all flaps and gear down. Left alternator, we can always restart that. I'm going to go ahead and restart it now. And there we go. Perfect. So yeah, it's handling it's very relaxing to handle, and it's handling like a dream. There's no slight blowiness on the rivets. There's no real hiccups in the handling though, other than visually, and I'm not sure if that's a computer issue or I've got the settings too low or what. going to have to increase our descent, start doing a drift, if you like, a drift into the runway, which is also known as crabbing. Even though you usually only do it to the wind, you can do it to slow the aircraft down as well. Make sure we don't spin out. As you can see, the aircraft descends at such a rapid rate. We can do that. It helps to bring you down in time in case you're too high up. All the city buildings here, the houses that we fly. You know what, we're going to skip that runway. I'm going to stick the gear up. I'm just going to go to the other end while we have a look at these buildings from a relatively low height. Okay. We move down, we can't see any people still. We can still see cars, buildings. Oh shh. Almost crashed. Gear up warning. Should have the gear up. Gears up, he wants to put the flaps up. Okay, so. Oh no. We probably need to put those propellers back to full. So as you can see, this responds as it would in the real world. That was a possible crash there. That really would have been a crash in real life. I suspect the pilot wouldn't have recovered in time. He was descending at 500 feet a minute, at less than 300 feet. But yeah, I'm imagining you can do an emergency landing down here on the road. I'd prefer to do that than to land on a runway. Might give us the opportunity, should I change my mind again. I really appreciate being here, my mistake, and watching this. This is nice to have some company on the stream. Okay, reduce that throttle again. Gear down, flaps down. Make sure our aircraft doesn't stall again. Be sure to remember this is real world physics, not an actual game, even though it is. Prepare for our landing. Slightly behind us. Slow our speed down. Not too much, because the Baron has a minimum control speed, at which point your aircraft will have no control. If you go below it, you will lose control from the yoke system. So you need to maintain above that speed at all times, otherwise you're pretty much either in the drink or in the buildings. Train tracks, train bridges looking very smooth. No trains on it at the moment. There seems to be tons of traffic on the motorway, or the highways, the Americans would say. This is Portland. Yeah, very impressive, very impressive. You even see the design of the car. You can make out what brands they are, or what brands they're mimicking. Okay, we're too high, we're going to idle. Just going to go straight down. A steep turn in, we'll put that nose in. Right rudder. Oh. Oh dear. That's gone terrible. That's gone awful. Slap the brakes on and hope that we don't die. Oof. Just listen to that though. Screech of the brakes and everything. Well, that was the Beechcraft Baron. I don't think we'll try it again. We're going to try another aircraft. We haven't used our 15 minutes of flight time, but for less than 15 minutes, I'd say that's pretty damn good. That's really, really enjoyable. Even the fact that you can land on the grass like that and do a bad landing and still recover, you know, hear the brakes and everything is brilliant. I'm really impressed so far. So we're going to go back to main menu, and we're going to do something a little bit bigger. We're going to go for maybe something like the Citation. We'll try the Cessna Citation out, and if it gives us the same issues, we can go bigger again. We can go like the 737 and preferably I wish they had the 747 and just over aircraft, because personally free options is not not enough to satisfy my sort of simulator needs. Okay, there we go. Loaded in. Nice to see you in the stream as well. Hope you're enjoying this demo. I am enjoying it a heck of a lot. Okay, I'm already fairly familiar with the Citation 2, but not the Citation X, so I'm assuming it's quite similar other than the upgraded avionics. Monitoring that outside sound, turn that down. On 2-1. It's 2-1 the runway. Portland International Airport, so we're going to go ahead and take off. Demo time is up. So we just used just about 15 minutes in the Baron and a few minutes, probably less than 2 minutes on the Cessna Citation X. Right, we'll go back to main menu, we'll go new flight and we'll start a brand new one, a brand new flight with the Citation X. I thought I was going to start a brand new one before, but it hasn't. Go straight back in and this time we'll be able to utilise the full 15 minutes. No, it's still telling me it's up, so this didn't happen previously, so what we're going to do is we're going to quit X-Plane and we're going to reload it. We're going to reload it up and make sure that the game works so we can actually do the demonstration. Okay, use demo, understood, new flight, so we want the citation, the third try. It's taken a while to load up. Seems to be buffering as well. Okay, straight in. I'm going to take straight off. We have flaps down. Looks similar to the Citation 2. I assume it is the lights, and seems to be a different layout on this panel. Excuse me, there's not much on the overhead panel. Got the electrical systems. This just looks a bit more modern, a bit more upgraded. You have got the reverse thrusters on this. The Citation 2, there was a variation which didn't because it was so well controlled it didn't need them. Had more powerful engines as well. Okay, we advance that thrust. Advancing very nicely. You can hear the roar. Hopefully. Inside sound should be loud. At 60 knots. 70, 80. We're at V1, we can very much take off. Cessna Citation. Whoa, doesn't need a lot of runway space. Gear up. We are struggling to maintain pitch, so we're going to pitch down. It's 10 degrees. Bring that thrust back, just so we're not at maximum. You shouldn't really take off with beyond the N1. Try and maintain under 250 knots and a relatively low height of about 1,000 feet. Use that back to 0, 50, 60%, and 160 maybe, 70. There's little numbers here changing and giving us the information we need on the engine. Of course, if you weren't worried, you can click on that. Just bear in mind, I'm still on the demo. At no point have I been asked, aside from when the 15 minutes end, no point have I been asked to pay for anything else other than the full experience, which is understandable. I haven't been asked to pay for the aircraft or the scenery. I understand there's add-ons, but my also understanding is that X-Plane includes a lot of scenery, so it includes world scenery with it. Okay, we're going about 200. We are going to try an engine failure in. So go on a menu up there, we click on the edit the flight, failures, engines, failures. We'll fail, failed immediately on number 1, and let's see how the aircraft handles this. Okay, let's check the external view. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so the physics in the animations are a lot better than I suspected. You've got real flames coming out of that. There's an engine fire, so we press that. And hopefully the aircraft should extinguish itself. Might want to reduce that thrust back to 0.
Bank angle.
Yeah, I am pushing the fire extinguisher. Stick 2 notches of flaps. Okay, we have a mayday situation. We're going to have to make an emergency landing on runway 28. Portland International. As gear come down, see that amazing smoke. There's some wing effects here we can see with the engines and the condensation. Plane's in a bad position though, we do need to get down. We've got an engine fire. Extinguish. Okay, it's put the fire out, but we'll have to land with 1 engine. Check if it's down, speed brake. I don't know how to arm this. I'm using a controller and a mouse, so perhaps theirs is enough. Crank that speed up, increase the thrust, decrease that. Oh dear.
1,000.
It's a little bit tricky, it's a little bit of an adjustment compared to previous flight simulators. It's certainly a lot more different with Microsoft Flight Simulator, that's for sure. Okay, Cessna Citation X is struggling to maintain speed and altitude. Descending below 900 and the speed is dropping rapidly. We are probably going to hit the ground rather fast. We're about to go into a spin if we don't correct it. It's good to see the engine extinguished its fire though, that's impressive. The question is, will it crash on landing or will it just bounce around? We have well and truly missed the runway.
Bank angle.
It's 500 feet. Try and do a turn. Use a bit of rudder. Whoa.
400.
It looks like it's an emergency landing. Not going to try the water. I'm going to try the runway.
300. 200. Sink rate.
It's going to be a hard landing. Could break the landing gear.
100.
15 minutes of this.
30, 20, 10.
Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. We did crash into a few planes on landing and straight across the taxiway, but better than blowing the plane up. So yeah, that's the Citation X done. We've done a takeoff in it. We've done a landing, an emergency landing in it. Handling well again. We didn't really see too many crash physics there. I was expecting the plane to slap down and break its undercarriage, but it didn't. Maybe the next aircraft will. So we go back on main menu. Bearing in mind we've probably still got the 15 minutes of the demo to use. So I didn't time that, but I think we've probably got about 10 minutes left of the demo. This might be my last plane that I try actually. This was only a short stream, an exclusive short stream, so I wasn't really excuse me, I wasn't really concerned about being on it for hours. I mean, it's just 15 minutes, isn't it? Right, new flight. So we tried the Baron out, we tried the Citation. I think we should move up now. We should try the McDonnell Douglas or the 737. Customize. Tempted by the MD. They like the McDonnell Douglas aircraft. The rear engine design is brilliant. Try and go for American Airlines if they've got it. Doesn't look like they have, so go Delta. And we're going to experiment with something else. We'll do a bit more experimenting with the weather after, but for now we'll just try this aircraft before we try that. Or we fly this aircraft before we try that. Okay, an incredibly detailed cockpit on first inspection. A lot of lights. Extend, retract. Okay, that's working. Go on failures, we don't want our engine failed on this one. Always working. Okay, so we're actually ready to go. I'll pause it so we don't use our time. And deploy. Notch your flaps. Shift and 8, it's the external view. Yeah, just look at that. I am reaching 60 frames on this aircraft. I wasn't getting that before on the Baron, and now when I'm internal it's switched to 50. I think that's the standard for a flight sim. For such a big aircraft as well, I think that's pretty good. So flight simulators don't tend to get, you can't expect to get up to 120 frames on them. I did on the Cessna, but not in a jet turbine aircraft like this. Taking off from runway 21, we are going to do a proper landing. I hope we can land properly without crashing. So yeah, let's carry on, press the P button. If we run out of time, we'll just end the flight and go on to the other aircraft with snow and ice. Stick those no smoking and seatbelt signs on.
Front left. Brake. Front left.
Okay, about the brake on.
Front left.
A lot of switches and dials up here. If you're not familiar with the 737 and you get X-Plane, you might want to do a little bit of training before you fly this thing, because there's a lot of things to understand. You've got the flight management system. Yeah, in general, a lot of things to understand. We have a... okay, I was going to say we have an issue with our attitude indicator. Localizer failure. I'm getting a warning. I have no idea what it is. Probably because I'm in the wrong configuration of takeoff. Amazing. You can see the condensation coming off the back of the engines. You should see on the wingtips if you're at higher altitude. The design in this aircraft is amazing. The wings are detailed. The whole aircraft has everything you'd expect from it. All the signs, all the winglet flaps and slats, lights. End up in a rather quick rate. May stall. Maybe not. Deploy one notch of flaps. And we're going to just go straight back round. Through what looks like a glorious experience. This is a flight simulator from 2 years ago. So, yeah. Incredible. I imagine what this is going to look like in 10 years. You probably won't be able to tell the difference between the game and real life. We're already kind of at that stage, but with the introduction of virtual reality, this is going to be indistinguishable from reality. It's going to be impossible to tell. Get that gear back down. I can't wait actually. I think X-Plane is compatible with VR headsets. So if you've got the computer and you've got the specs and the virtual reality goggles, whatever they're called, why not? You know, get the whole experience. become a virtual pilot. Now, I'm assuming the game would include manuals or some kind of checklist with it. I don't know where they are, and I don't know how to access them, or maybe they're not included with the demo. But I'm assuming they are. I'm assuming they have the computer systems or work, and the CM computer management will be working. I'm just assuming all this from this 15-minute flight, but obviously could be different. So don't buy it thinking it's going to include everything, because it might not. You might have to download additional aircraft and add-ons and whatever else you need to play it. I've lost sight of the airport. The plane is very fast and completely soared out the area. Go back in, I'm going to take it. I do know where the map is on this. You click on flight, show map. You can just zoom in. So we are heading towards the airport. We can start our descent. It would be cool if you could make a cabin call. I've seen that on some streamers' videos, where they've pressed a button or they've selected something and it's given the cabin a call out, such as prepare for landing, you know, thank you for the flight, come aboard next time, etc. It's a great addition. And somebody, a streamer who flew today actually on the stream was talking about other add-ons for the weather, realistic weather downloads and realistic charts, which is fantastic to see. My experience was with VATSIM a few years ago, VATSIM and Navigraph. I used both of those. I don't use them anymore though, because I don't have the correct simulators for it. But based on you know, just people's experiences and reviews of this game or this simulator, I'm going to be most likely purchasing this one, Flight X-Plane 12, and that's great. I think that's a great investment, and according to the other person I asked, it was as well. So it's always good to hear. Down at 140, 120, keeping that the plane on its toes and the airport on its toes. I haven't armed the speed brake. There has to be shortcuts. I have no idea what they are for this game or this experience. Here we come. We're coming way too fast. Way too fast, way too high. We're stalling. I don't know how. We're pitching down at 160.
Terrain. Terrain.
Okay, we're gonna slap those brakes hard on.
300.
Oh no.
200.
It's not that I'm not taking this seriously. It's just that I'm so immersed in this experience. I don't want to land properly. I'm just looking around all the time. I'm looking at the water as well. The light on the water just looks fantastic. It looks like a real world scenario.
Landing gear.
50, 40, 30, 20.
Oh god.
10.
Oh, okay, we've oh.
AVR fire.
You exceeded the airframe G limit. You can prevent this in the future by flying more carefully. Well, I appreciate the insight. X-Plane 12. Delta aircraft did a light landing and tried to do a go around and ended up crashing. So now we know what the physics are like on the crashes. We we came in way too fast. We tried to go around and we've messed it up badly. Look at that. Look at the light and the waters. I'm too distracted by this. The light and the ripples, the water effects are brilliant. Now we know the crash physics work just like real life. We've lost, I'm assuming we've lost the majority. We've lost the rear engines and wings. The undercarriage have ripped out. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And that's the end of the demo for that one, so we're going to have to go off again, and we're going to try it one more time with snow and ice, because this is addictive already. I'm already hooked on the game, and well done to the developers. They made this a fantastic experience by the look of it. Okay, understood. New flight, which is a smaller aircraft. I think I'm going to go for the Skyhawk, and we'll do a... my mistake, I was going to click on the weather for the snow and ice. Again, there's that lag on, well maybe not lag, but a slow load up speed as we render in all the things. File, main flight, new flight, customize the weather. So there's different options here. We've got wet, but I don't want to do a raining one. We will turn precipitation up though, so we can see it. I'm going to select snowy and icy maximum. We want the maximum worst conditions that this game can play in. Okay, apply changes. No snow, but there is ice. One more time we'll try it and change the precipitation. We'll change it to moderate. Hopefully that increases or starts some snow or rain. Okay, a little bit on the inshore side of that, because the snow and the ice have gone. Maybe I'm not doing this correctly, so click there, click max. Let's try one more time. Okay, so we're not going to get any rain or snow. I have selected snow and ice maximum, but it seems to be predominantly ground cover. Looks very pretty. Looks very good. Cessna 172, most popular trainer in the world. We're going to stick that fuel pump on, and our lights are already on. We stick the landing light on. Glare shield, yes, we're going to need that. We need to turn that up. Low volts, just increase the throttle, and it should improve the issue. Basically, low volts is just because the engine isn't generating enough power, so you need to increase the speed. Okay, let's go. No need for flaps on this runway, it was long enough. There's that realistic drift to the left. So we're going to be departing about 60, maybe 65 in this aircraft on a snowy day. Pull back slightly, just take the pressure off the nose wheel. And we'll pitch up. Stall warning, that's fine. It's like there's a crosswind here, strong crosswind. Reduce that throttle back to 2100 whilst we counter out the wind.
Attention all aircraft. Portland International Information India current. Altimeter 2992.
Okay, we've just been given an instruction from ATC for all aircraft. That's interesting. I've never witnessed this. This is featuring a lot of new things that weren't present many years ago. And I think we can probably land safely in this aircraft as well. Yeah, the underside of the wings looking fantastic. The snow, the struts, detail in the aircraft. We've even got the seat belts and I have to say this is one of the better looking 172s I've ever been in. I've never seen it so posh looking. This has got leather interior. And we can use, I believe we can use these things, these glare shields. Let's take one notch of flaps and decrease it to 1900. Maybe we'll maintain 21 till we can see the runway, all the buildings there. Imagine this is something out of a movie. Hello Portland, nice to see you. Okay, turn back to final. Ignoring the fact that there are other aircraft in the vicinity. Keep that nose usually into the wind, but we can keep it, I was going to say, we can keep it straight. If the ball goes to the right, you need to right rudder it, because that'll put your nose into the correct direction. If it goes to the left, if it goes to the right, obviously, it basically goes to the right, you go left. If it goes to the right, you go left, etc, etc. It'd be cool if they had a seasonal decorations, Christmas decorations and things. Changeable seasons and weather is fantastic, and probably provides enough of an experience for you. But if you really want an immersive experience, it'd be cool to see different things happening in the towns and cities at different times of the year. You know, festivals and general. Right, 50 knots, almost touched down in other events. Nice hard landing. We're skidding. Oh, that was very good. I'm going to do a little bit of taxiing in this plane in the ice and snow, see if it responds well. At the moment it's drifting a lot, it's struggling with the ground cover. I'll go ahead and I'm going to taxi down to, not necessarily parking, but to a jetway hopefully. Taxi down here. Lovely runways and taxiway lights and markings, these are all realistic, this is what you'd expect to see. Moving down with some speed at the moment. Seems clear, there's no other traffic, there's a lot parked up but no one's departing or taxiing as far as I can tell. We don't want to go onto the runway. Or maybe we do, we're going to cross. I'm going to do this a little bit quicker. Just because we got 15 minutes. Even the bumpiness on the ground is a surprise. You feel the bumps, you feel like you're driving over or taxiing over a rough surface. You can feel when the aircraft passes over the gaps in the slates, the concrete. You can feel the effects of the ice on the wheels, you can feel the wind. You can see it as well, which is fantastic. The aircraft vehicles moving, delivering baggage to different planes and to the terminal. We're going to taxi down here. Let's see if the aircraft stop for us. Okay, so that one's still... he did stop, but he was about to go into us. So it's good to see the air traffic and ground crew are knowing and realistic and knowing where you are. Turn into this terminal on the left. Probably the first time a Cessna 172's turned up to a jetway. ground crew. This is a power unit, I believe, and baggage is pushed back. Perfect. You can just park there like that, slap the brakes. On this jetway can be operated. If you press Shift and G, you can access the toggle jetway attachment, and that's under ground handling. If I request ground service, it will say waiting and service complete in 600 seconds. Waiting for one vehicle, so let me go back in, turn the engine off, and let's see if we can. Let's just turn this off. Okay, let's see if we can step out the aircraft while we wait for that vehicle. Doesn't seem that I can get out of it. Well, the door's open. You can open. You can't open the baggage compartment. That's a shame. It doesn't look like you can open the fuels either, so you can't do a fuel check. Can do the doors. Still waiting for the ground crew. I hope they turn up soon. Waiting for one vehicle. I think that's in the background, the fuel truck. Let's hope it is. Yeah, so he's here now to refuel us. He should pop out and... okay, that's not too impressive. We've got a baggage handler driving through a lot of metal objects. Let's hope the fuel doesn't do the same and blow up and kill us all. Aviation gasoline 100 LL. So he's even brought the right type of fuel for the aircraft. That's good. Well, Lufthansa regional, looks like a Fokker, is it? A Q8. Fantastic planes, little city hoppers as we call them in the UK. There used to be a company that flew predominantly these type of planes called Flybe, but I believe Flybe might have gone out of business. Someone will have to double check that for me. I haven't seen it for a long time. I think we're going to call it though, because that's been an experience and a half for 15 minutes. Plus the additional like 45 minutes we've been on it. I think we've learned a lot about the physics, we've looked at it and experienced it enough to be able to make a decision about it. Obviously the base aircraft are not too varied, we're going to escape. The base aircraft are not too varied, you get a selection of, well, we'll count them, 1, 2, 3, and then, you know, 15 aircraft in total, or 17 roughly, and a location unlimited. Customizable weather, customizable time of day. I don't like to fly in the light, sometimes it's better to fly at night, it makes it prettier. We didn't try that, but that'll be saved for another video. And yeah, I'm really glad you came and watched this. I think next time we do a flight sim flight, it'll be on flight gear, but then after that I'm going to be investing in X-planes, so moving forward the graphics are going to be, and the streams are going to be more interesting, better quality.